Hey everybody, my name's Saki. Welcome back to another amazing video. Today's video topic is actually about one that's happening a lot due to COVID-19 and pretty much all the events being indoors now and online. So today's video is actually going to be about Smash GG and how to use it. So this first video is actually going to be part one of two videos. This first one's going to be mostly focused for our players. I know a lot of you guys sometimes enter these tournaments, and it could be your first tournament, like in forever. It could be your first online tournament, or it could be that you're really used to Smash GG already and are used to entering tournaments, but you've always wanted to know what happens and basically how things work in these tournaments. With that being said, though, this is going to be that main topic of this video. The next one is actually going to be about how to organize a tournament using Smash GG, but we'll get those later on in the end of the video. But for this one, we're going to go ahead and focus on you guys, the players, and basically what to do when a tournament happens. So one thing that you guys got to remember is due to it being online, a lot of things are like going crazier. It's not like how you would go to an offline tournament and talk to the TO involved. You basically are the person reporting your own scores, checking who's in your bracket. You're the one checking in, and you're the only time you really want to like actually request a TO is when something's happening in your match or just trying to report the score. Basically, here I have is one of my old tournaments that I actually used to run. It's from the February Shrine Monthly. Basically, this is the home page. I can go over here for you. And basically, this is how a tournament event page should be looking at. So you obviously have your little header here. You have the name of the tournament, when the tournament's going to be, what type of tournament, as well as a contact information. Now, this is super important for anybody who is, again, still new or is just trying to get in contact with this person running it. Normally, most event organizers have either an email or a phone number or a Discord, and this is just, again, someone who you can reach out to if you have any questions about the tournament. Now, this is like general questions, evolving from when the tournament is to how much the prize pool is, what's the status of the tournament, basically anything and everything. That's the email that you want to try to go for. And then, of course, we have the header here. This is basically an intro discussion about the tournament to provide you a general idea on what could happen, what's going on, and whatnot. And then, of course, we have a really cool poster. Most event organizers, especially ones that are trying to do tournaments on I would say like maybe weekly basis, monthly basis, anybody who seems legit, it's always important to make sure that you verify that the tournament looks legit. And most times they have a poster already set up with the general information and where you can find out more about that tournament with that information on there. And then here below, if you scroll down, we have what we call the events page. This is essentially where you're going to be able to sign up. Normally, if the tournament is live, you'd be able to go ahead and view the bracket and register, all that good stuff. If you click on it, which is right here, it'll take you to the event, basically the date of the tournament or the actual tournament itself, and you'll be able to register, look at brackets, as well as look at all the standings and basically the placings of the player. Let's go back here to the home page before we keep going on that end. Here you have all the attendees. Now, again, this is always important to see because now sometimes organizers will like hide the attendees just for the safety of everybody, especially when they're like offline tournaments and whatnot. But this is essentially how you'll find out who signed up, see how many people are signed up. It's always good to, again, look at the number as well as look at what's going on just to make sure that everything seems legit and everything looks according to plan. And then we're going to keep going down. Once more, we have the contact info here. Now, again, most event organizers generally use an email, but they do list their phone number, their Discord number, and any other information that you may need. Now, this email will not always be the personal email of the event organizer. It could be that it's the email to the organization, and sometimes you may have to wait for a response. That's okay. Just make sure you keep that in mind while you're going to go ahead and send that email. And then of course on the right here, we have the admins. Now these are the people basically who you want to reach out to whenever someone or whether someone has an issue, or even if you have an issue. Here you can see that if you hover over the name or the profile, you can look at their Twitch, their Twitter, as well as their Discord number. So this is all the information you can get if you have any questions to the admins involved. And then down here we have the rules section. Again, definitely one of the things you want to check when you're signing up for a tournament is the rules section. See what the rules are. Most tournaments are listing the platform in their rules. That's also a big biggie, as well as if it's supposed to be wired or Wi-Fi friendly. And essentially this is what you're going to be keeping in mind as you're competing. Again, it's just like a regular offline tournament, but you're supposed to be responsible to actually read through all of this and make sure you accept the rules and terms and conditions. Of course, failure to comply gives every right to the TO to take correct measures and whatnot. But always, again, as a responsible player, make sure you check the tournament organizers' rules, look at their contact info, basically maneuver through the site and verify that this looks legit and actually correct. And then if we're going to go to the Shrine Monthly, here, this is the event that the tournament had. Now, due to the fact that the event already happened, you won't be able to register, but registering is actually pretty simple and straightforward. There would be like a little button and you'd be able to register. But with that being said, we can actually go ahead and look at the brackets. Now, brackets are basically brackets, and you can basically look at who you're gonna fight. Here again, since the tournament already finished, you can already see that the whole bracket's filled out and all that good stuff. But normally, and if I go over here real quick, I'll show you guys in just a second. Let me see, 1 second. Normally, when you go into a match, whatever match would be, so for example, give me 1 second while I get here into the bracket setup. That is not what I want. Here, brackets. My bad. So normally this is the back end of an organizer's page. However, I'm going to be showing you guys what the windows are going to actually look. So for example, if I was to go, actually I'm going to use this one over here. We'll use this one here since this one was the last one. So let's say I had to edit the results, right? And I'm editing them because the match is going to start, and I reset it. I'm going to go ahead and reset this one. And then we're going to see it. Yes, reload, please. Just give it a little bit of a minute. All right, perfect. So normally when you are checking in, the bracket or your match is going to look like so right here. When Smash wants to work. Come on, Smash. Give me Smash. All right, perfect. Awesome. So normally when you go into this bracket here, it's supposed to look like there's like little yellow and green bars. Basically what this means is, let me see if I can show you real quick. Hang on. So normally what happens in the bracket is you have to check in. And obviously checking in, you can do so with a mod, which is also called the TO, or you can do so with the with yourself actually. And basically what you want to look for is if your match is highlighted in yellow. If it's highlighted in yellow, it means that you have a timer, and that timer is right here. This is the automatic disqualification timer. This basically gives you the time that you have to actually check in. Failure to check in within this amount of time will actually auto disqualify you. So this is not the TO disqualifying you. This is actually Smash disqualifying you. But super important because all players will actually see this. So right now, if we had Emperor Smack actually trying to check in right now, he would be seeing this page right here, and he would be able to click this button called check-in, right? And then now you do have to wait for your opponent. So when you check in, this message will appear until your opponent actually checks in. Obviously, if the timer goes down, you're free to go because you checked in, and your opponent gets disqualified. But let's say if Brosif goes in and he actually checks in and he's good to go, then this screen actually changes to green on the bracket. This means that the game is in progress. Now, this is super important to actually keep in mind, and super sorry about that. My mouse went ahead and did like a little backstage right there. But basically, this is the window, and if this is in green, this means that the match is in progress. When the match is in progress, it basically also means too that the players are in their matches, they're going ahead and they're doing their scores and whatnot. Now, sometimes this can take a little bit because depending on how many games you need to play, some players like to wait till the end. That's all good and all, but it's always important to keep in mind that just like you are getting this done, people are waiting for their matches as well. So normally, like, the normal time to actually spend is like about, I would say, 20 minutes, and that's to get all through the games. It just depends on the game that you're playing, but again, always make sure that when you see a green, it just means that the match is in progress. When both players are checking in, this message, create the game lobby, occurs. You can see the PSN that's right here highlighted. Sometimes you can create the lobby. The game will the website will ask player 1 to create the lobby. As long as the match is played and everybody has the proper PSN, you are good to go. And once you are in the game, it's always recommended that you hit done. Why do you hit done? Because then you can go ahead and you can get into the next stage of the game, which is the game setup. Now, depending on, again, the game that you're doing, you have different fighters. For this purpose only, we have the MK11 tournament setup. So here you can select your fighters. Obviously, always try to be honest about it. It's always important because this obviously helps with data for the tournament organizers. This helps them understand what kind of players are playing, as well as the characters being used. It helps them with all this statistic. So for example, for me, I play Jade, right? So I'm going to put Jade and I'm going to hit submit. And let's say my opponent does Jade 2, or he plays, let's say, Joker, whatever the case may be, and he hits submit. We're going to go into the report game screen. Obviously, this screen should only be done when you finish a game. This also helps you keep track of who wins and who loses. So, for example, Empress Mac won the first game, and then I lost that first game too. It's always important that you report accurately. So I'm going to give the win, that W right here, to Smack. I'm going to hit submit, and then it's going to have my opponent verify, and my opponent's going to go ahead and get this window, and he's going to hit confirm, as long as, of course, they're honest. Always make sure that you're honest, because again, you are going to be tested in terms of, like, you're going to be asked and confirm and whatnot, and you always want to make sure that you give the proper win to your opponent. That's just good sportsmanship, and it's also less of a headache for mods as well. In the case that you ever need to request a mod, there is this little chat here. This chat is also connected to your opponent. So here you can see me, my little mini me right here. This just means that a mod is in the chat and actually looking at your chat screen and whatnot. This is also how you can connect to your opponent. Now, again, most tournament organizers want to use the Discord, but in the case that a tournament is too big for whatever reason, we always recommend that you try to use the chat screen to reach out to your opponent. As soon as you reach out to your opponent, you can see that they are messaged here. They'll say, hey, what's up? Let's get our game going and whatnot. But if you had an issue, there is a button called the Request Moderator button. So the Request Moderator button will basically ping a moderator, and the moderator will come in, be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? And then go ahead and resolve any issues that you have. Now, it's always important, again, that you go straight to the point, as these moderators or TO organizers are busy in trying to keep the flow of the tournament moving. So if it's in the case that the person's taking too long to report your score, or if you want to just report your score and move on to your next match, just request the one moderator button and tell them and let them know, as well as any issues in regards to the player not following the rules or whatnot. And then, of course, we would have the summary page here. Basically, this is the page that will allow you to see how you did, how your opponent did, and basically end the night like that. And basically, that as a player is all that you really need to do. You can look at again the bracket and see more or less the status of what's going on. It's always again important that you take note of what happens in the bracket, because it could be that you're waiting on someone else, right? It could be that you're waiting on your player to finish their match and it's green, and then that's when you can ping a mod and be like, hey, I'm waiting on my match. Can you find out what's going on in the match beforehand? You can also see more or less who was projected to win as well. Now, of course, this is a bracket that's already been filled and already done, but this projected button takes whatever seeding and whatever standings that you had in previous tournaments and goes by that number or that percentage as well. And basically, this is how you would keep in track of the bracket, see what's going on, see where what's going. Another important thing to keep in mind is if you ever see like a little Twitch icon here, which I can actually show you real quick. Let me see if I can find the tournament here. We'll use one of a big past tournament as well that happened recently. The Coliseum, for example, is a perfect example of what that screen looks like. Let's see. So sometimes organizers will put a Twitch symbol right next to your bracket, and basically this is just to show that you are not to play your match off stream. You want to make sure that you always pay attention to that symbol and wait to get confirmation from a mod to help assist the flow of things, because again, you don't want to just jump into a match and not see the symbol, because that kind of causes a delay on the event's production side of things. So let's see, it does look like it's not gonna show up here just yet. Let me look at top 8 real quick. But basically it's like a little Twitch symbol that appears right here next to your match, and it's basically telling you, hey, you're on stream, make sure you keep an eye out. A mod's gonna contact you, make sure you're watching the stream so that way you don't miss your chance to actually play and you're considered checked in and whatnot. And then as far as that's how a player can get through Smash, that's basically the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helps you guys in future tournaments and helps you guys maneuver future tournaments and go through with things from there. And yeah, thank you guys again. I'll see you guys in the next stream/video. And if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to assist. Bye-bye, Muse!